Alright, what's up guys? So today I'm going to be showing you how I do the color bolts on this engine. As you can see, it totally gives a way different look to an engine. It's just these little red parts. And if you want to buy a red bolt, it's like $5 to $8 per bolt. You know, end up spending $400 just on bolts in on your engine, which is absurd. So I'm going to show you how to do it for a lot cheaper than that. So this is all the bolts I'm going to be doing. I will add a couple more, but for the most part, it's just a bunch of random bolts that I haven't done yet. So yeah, let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is sandblasting all the colors. And no, none of them fell out, so we are good. So yeah. Okay guys, so now we got the everything sandblasted. So for bolts like this, you do not want to sandblast in the middle right here, because that will take some material down, and then if it's a greasing spot or like a bearing spot, it's going to make a gap, which you do not want. So but all these other bolts, we got all sandblasted. I don't do threads because there's no point. You don't want to sandblast threads. We're not going to paint the threads either, so there's no point. But yeah, these are all cleaned up now. Next thing we're going to do is soak them in acetone to get rid of all the grease. So we'll need a metal bucket or some kind of bucket for that. So yeah, and some acetone. So let's do that. Any kind of container works. I don't have a metal bin. I looked all over, but so I'm just going to be using this glass dill pickle jar, because why not? So I'm just going to put all these bolts in here. Make sure you don't break the jar that you're using like I'm doing. So the acetone will clean all the oil, the residue off of it. Sandblasting gets a lot of it, but there's still oil that seeped into the metal, so the best way to do that is by soaking it in acetone for a little while. Now I'm just using a clean strip acetone. You want just enough to cover all the bolts like that. Let's see, mine's just about perfect. Maybe a little bit more. There. That is plenty. So now make sure you have a lid, but do not cover all the way, or you can risk having an explosion, because acetone does like to expand. So yeah, you should be alright though, because we got these sealed containers which don't explode, so I'm just warning you. So just put that in there, and now we're just gonna let it sit for a while. Alright guys, and we're back. So I did leave this for a day, and as you can see from the color of the water, there was quite a bit of grease on that still, even after sandblasting. So I do believe this is a necessary step in order to get the best results and best adhesion. So we're just going to take them out now. So a little bit of acetone spilled, but it's no big deal, we'll wipe it up. But even if you just leave it, this stuff evaporates so fast. You can see it's already not a puddle, it's already drying up. So It just got a lot darker outside. But yeah, I mean, even if I like, doesn't even make my hands wet. So all the stuff's already dry now, so I am going to sandblast a couple parts that still look a little greasy, and then we'll get to painting them. So yeah, see you when that's done. So what I do recommend is separating them by the bolt and washers, and if you're doing other parts too. That way each one requires different prep. So if this is your first time, I do recommend taping off all the threads on these, because if you get the powder on it, they're gonna have a really hard time threading in. I've done bolts quite a few times, so I know where to spray and where not to spray. So I'm not gonna be doing that. Although I probably will put pieces in here to not paint the threads, because that's almost impossible not to get some into the nuts. So yeah, you will need some hangers, and I'll show you my custom thing for bolts that I made here in a sec. So yeah, let's get to that. Okay, so this here is the custom bolt holder I made. As you can see, a whole bunch of holes in it, so all that happens is the bolt just goes right in this. It sits just like that, allows me to powder coat everything on top without getting the threads at all. So if you're going to be doing quite a few bolts, like a whole engine or a whole bike, I do recommend making one of these. It's just a regular piece of metal like this here. It's like a half tube, and I just drilled a bunch of holes in it. So yeah, I would make one of these if you are doing that. So that's what I use. You can also hang each bolt individually by a hanger, but this just makes it a whole lot easier if you're doing quite a few bolts. So yeah. Okay, so now once you have all your bolts, let's drop that. Now once you have almost all your bolts, or all of your bolts in the holder, we are going to stick them in the oven to preheat. Gives it better adhesion. Oops, I did leave that in there, but that's no big deal. So try not to burn yourself. Whew, hot. So just leave that in there for about 10 minutes. It will also be a degreasing thing. You can see if there's any grease left over. But yeah, it makes it so when you spray the powder coat, it sticks a lot better. So yeah, we're just gonna let that heat up with the oven while we hang some of the other stuff. Okay guys, so now for the washers, I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do this. You need a wire, pretty stiff one, and you're just gonna slide each washer onto the end here and scoot it more over. It doesn't matter how it is right now, but when we are spraying it, you will want to separate them, obviously, so you can spray each one individually. But otherwise you have to hang each one, you gotta move it. It just takes forever and it's not very efficient. So this way you just have to ground one time and you can spray the whole thing at once. So stick all these on there, and let's show you with that. Now, once you get all these on here, you can see I spaced them out just enough for me to be able to spray each one. So yeah, that is all set, and now I'm going to show you how to do the bolts, or the nuts, my bad. Now, so for these nuts, all I'm using is these little C-clip hangers, and just take these and then pretty much just hang them up, and then you're good. So yeah, just each one, just different C-clip here. Just put it on. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but you just put it on there and put it on the rack, and you're ready to spray. Obviously, you're gonna spray them one at a time. I'm just hanging this up to show you, so don't have them this close together, or it's gonna not work out well. So yeah. Okay, so once you get those all sprayed, put them in the oven. I already put these ones in, so just set that for 15 to 20 minutes, and you should be okay. So see you in 15 or 20 minutes. Alright guys, so now that these parts are out and chromed, I would show you more, but one of the best things to do for it is to spray it while it's warm. You'll get the best adhesion that way. So let's get to spraying. Alright guys, I just pulled them out of the oven. Here is the result. They are absolutely beautiful. They turned out amazing. I ended up leaving a couple pieces chrome as I don't want the entire bike to be straight red, so here are these bolts. Some of it did spill, so I may have to clean up the threads a little bit. As you can see, they are red, but they look amazing from the top, so that's what we're looking for. So yeah, there's the tutorial. Now you can do it yourself. So yeah, thanks for watching.